What is going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of the ABJ Podcast. Full disclosure: this one is an early bird special. I'm recording this one at 6 o'clock in the morning because dedication. This is our second international guest. So we had James on from England, and now we have our first Australian guest on the podcast. And a lot of people are thinking it's Raz, right? No, it's not Raz, not yet. This is Sam Evans. He's an artist from Australia. Found him on Instagram just randomly, reached out, said, "Hey, can you do a podcast?" He said, "Sure." His art is so cool. It's so wrestling inspired pop culture. If you are listening to this on the audio side of the podcast, I do recommend heading over to the YouTube side and giving it a watch, because as the interview is going to be going, I'm going to be popping up his art on the screen so you all can see what we're talking about, or maybe stuff that just kind of is going to pop up while we're speaking, while we're having a conversation. Definitely check out his art. All his links will be below. Instagram, all of anywhere you can find him, I will have that in the links below. Also, check out the links below to follow me on all social media. Grab some merchandise. We have t-shirt designs and a bunch of cool stuff. So I appreciate all the support you guys have been giving. If you want to see these episodes early, we air them all the time via Discord, where you can, if the day I'm recording it, I will put a post out saying, hey, you can hang out backstage and watch the interviews live, or you can watch them early on Patreon. You join in for as little as $1. It helps the podcast keep going. And it helps pay the bills here. So let's get into this interview. Super excited for this one. Without further ado, really bring in Sam Evans of Sam Evans Art.
G'day, Anthony. How you going?
Well, I'm doing great, man. I'm super excited for this one. I don't even know where how it's the power of social media. Sometimes people say, right, like Instagram and social media is a joke. You don't get seen. I randomly come across your page, I guess, because my algorithm is so flooded with professional wrestling. I'll put the first photo up right now. This is the first one that popped up on my timeline. And it warmed my heart. As a giant Shawn Michaels fan, seeing that boot hit that dumb Bret Hart in his face just makes me so happy. But yeah, that's the first one I seen, and I'm a huge Shawn guy. I will be honest. There's a lot of good Bret Hart. If you're a Bret person, there's a lot of good Bret Hart post art out there. There's him in a gym in like backstage promo bits. There's a lot of good stuff. But yeah, so I seen the art. And I literally just sent it to a bunch of people on my list. And I was just like, must follow page, follow it. I didn't know where you were from. I honestly thought, first seeing it, I thought you were from Pennsylvania, because there's a lot of Rocky art as well, too. So I seen all the wrestling and the Rocky. I was like, this guy's got to be from Pennsylvania. This is, and then we start talking, and no, you are from Australia.
I'm from the 80s.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. So how long has art been always something you've been passionate about and something you've always done?
Yeah, always been painting, and my whole life drawing, painting. Even when I was a kid in school, I used to draw like King Kong Bundy and Hogan, stuff like little cartoon stuff. So I don't know where drawings are now, but I did.
So you've always been more leaning towards the wrestling side of things as well?
Back when I was a kid, but then no, for a long time I just painted like just whatever, like strange sort of stuff, and then sort of got away from that, and then just started painting. I did like a wrestling paint, I would say around 2018 I did the first one, and there's a couple of wrestling pages that shared it, and it kind of blew up a little bit, and I've just been going since then the whole time, just wrestling, or just that nostalgic sort of vibe, you know what I mean, like back from the good old days, the era.
Well, yeah, they're like, and then I like how you mix some humor into your painting too. So another one we're gonna pop up here is a legendary wrestling story that you've capsulated in a painting, but threw a little humor in because of the police officer who's coming up to the car is the Big Boss Man. So if you know the story, this is where kayfabe, where they say the first shot at the death of kayfabe happened right here, where King Kong Bundy and Iron Sheik are driving down after leaving a show. The car is full of drugs. They're both high and drunk, and they get pulled over, and it makes news because they're two professional wrestlers who got busted together, one bad guy, one good guy, and they get busted with a car full of drugs.
And Sheik and Hacksaw is all USA, you know, as
Yeah.
well. It's like,
Yeah, Super USA and Iron Sheik was definitely not. So that's a great one there. So I do love how you add the humor in as well of it. So what would you consider your style? It of what kind of style of art would you consider most of your paintings? Like the Bret Hart one we put up, or with Sean kicking him in his stupid head.
That's more of like I call that my palette knife style when I'm doing that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm throwing that on like thick, and then I kind of destroy it at the end and try and keep it alive at the same time, if you know what I mean. Like, so,
yeah, it almost has like a blurry effect to it, but then there's like no detail, but the detail that are there is what makes it stand out as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to get sort of because I do it on kind of neat first, and then at the end I kind of attack it. If you ever watch one of the time lapses, you'll see at the end I just spray it out of it with water, and I get like a big scraper and just go over it and just go nuts on it, but then kind of hack into it and try to make it like not completely destroy it. Like there's a point where I just got to stop and go, that's it. What I mean? Right. But yeah,
absolutely.
So it's not like a trying to be realistic or anything, that sort of stuff. It's all about capturing the action and the color. You want to be in that. I want people to be sort of feeling that moment. Like, yeah, getting the action in those ones is important.
Yeah, well, another one we'll pull up here. This is probably one of the more recent photos. Is that a lot of them you do are very retro, old school, how you said 80s. But this one here, this is from one of the most recent Royal Rumbles. I think you captured it amazingly. This is Logan Paul and Ricochet just meet in the middle here. With the GCW in the background. I love that.
Yeah, I snuck that in.
Or the GWC, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Steve and GWC. He's a legend.
Yeah. So this one, I mean, that is beautiful. The light shining in the background.
Oh, you know what I mean? Like, just working from reference photo and just like trying to capture the moment there as well. But yeah, it's not like the ones that I do. I don't work in that a lot. It's like, it's fun.
Absolutely. So how long, you said as a kid, you've always been a wrestling fan. What
Samantha Irvin bought that one.
Samantha Irvin bought that?
Yeah.
The ring announcer, Ricochet's girlfriend.
Yeah.
That is sick.
Following my account since like way back in the day. Like before she was even a ring announcer and just a singer, she was a wrestling fan and just following my page. And like, she bought that one. She's really cool.
That is amazing. She is hands down my favorite ring announcer in professional wrestling right now. She is so good. Like she is going to go down as one of the greats. I'm sorry, what was that?
So much enthusiasm and just that amazing voice. You know what I mean? Like so strong.
Yeah, I actually did an interview with a ring announcer, and one of my biggest critiques are a lot of ring announcers try to put that radio voice on, or they try to be Howard Finkel, and they try to put on that like unrealistic voice, and hers is just naturally hers, and it's like soulful and powerful. I love it.
Yeah.
So growing up, you said always a big wrestling fan and pop culture. What's your earliest memory of being a pro wrestling fan that like just drew you in, and what are some of the wrestlers that kind of grabbed your attention?
I mean, I started around 86, so probably like George Steele, those guys, like the really like early sort of stuff. But he was a character, you know. There you go.
Yeah,
George Steele, no face.
George the Animal Steele was my mom's favorite wrestler. That for some reason she just really gravitated to this one. The one we just pulled up here is Captain Lou Albano and George the Animal Steele. The turnbuckles ripped apart, fluff is flying in the air. Great, great character.
The green tongue, the whole thing. It was cool, and I think he was the only wrestlers who sort of came to Australia back in those days. Like I saw one show, like in '86. He was a part of it, like him, Cowboy Bob Orton, Fabulous Moolah, Velvet McIntyre, you know, all the big names.
It's Was wrestling super available all the time? Like I know you have a lot of indie promotion stuff over there, but like they didn't travel to Australia very often.
No, like for me, we only saw WWF, and that was on TV. Like, okay, yeah, like, yeah. I've seen 3 wrestling shows live in my life. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And
how close are you to Elimination Chamber coming up?
Yeah, I'll be getting tickets, I think.
Perfect. You know, you start painting stuff. Like, hey, listen, wrestlers, comp me. I'll give you a painting.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing like a show or something around it. Like, but I've just got to figure it out. Because
I definitely will cash in on it.
Coolness as well, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, you know, they got the whole intellectual property thing.
Yeah, but I think in these aspects, it's like you're not really like it's still your creation. I don't know how it works, but it's so wacky. Like sometimes I'll make like a logo that's like a spoof of a logo, and then they'll be like they'll flag it. And I'm like, it looks it, but it's not. Like you can't like there's parody law. Like you're allowed to do this. Like
and I'm all the way in Australia, so come and get me.
Yeah, Australians don't give a shit about anything. They're just like, bring it on. Do you see what we live with? We live with the most dangerous animals on the planet. The only painting I'm shocked that you haven't made. No Steve Irwin paintings. I'm just saying. I feel like if you're from Australia, that's like your national hero, right? Like he's on money and stuff, right? Like he's on your flag now.
Yeah, sure. No, I think King Charles at the moment. He'll be coming to. And the Queen was on the monarchy. Fuck's sake.
Get rid of all of them. It should just be Steve. Put Steve on everything.
Good, man.
You should do a painting of Steve Irwin and Skinner.
Crocodile Dundee. That's what it should be.
Another one here. Huge fan. Not a huge fan of Hogan himself, but growing up, when I think Hogan, besides being in the ring, Hogan's iconic moments for me are his promos, right? The promos are what stands out. Him standing next to Mean Gene. I mean, this is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Now this one here, this has a lot more detail into it. You're not really, like how you said, you're not really attacking this one.
Yeah, no, it's more going for trying to be a bit realistic here, you know.
Yeah. Now, do you have a preference on what you prefer over? Like, do you like doing the more attacked ones, or do you like doing the more realistic? And then you also have like the ones in your background there, which almost like the cartoon style.
Yeah, they're like the kind of giant Where's Wally style sort of things. Probably, I would say the attacking is my favorite at the moment, because I'm just doing a lot of it, and I've found my groove with it at the moment. Like with the finishers ones I'm doing at the moment, like I'm excited about each painting. I can't wait to like do it, and I want to try and capture that movement and moment, and so those are really, really good. I'm enjoying those.
Yeah. So have you ever, one of the questions I was going to ask, you kind of already beat me to one of them, but have you ever had any other commissions or from people like maybe relatives or from other wrestlers or wrestlers themselves who are like, hey, I really like this. Can you do one for me?
Yeah. Like back in the day when I first started, well, not a commission, but, Kyle O'Reilly.
Yes.
Yeah. He bought like, a bunch of paintings straight up. Like when I had British Bulldog and was it Bulldog and Bret Hart, he bought that one and another one, and I think he's been back and bought others before, and other wrestlers. And think,
dude, Kyle O'Reilly's the man. He's one of my favorites. Hopefully recovering from neck surgery. Hopefully he comes back soon. I'm kind of hoping he's part of this new angle that Adam Cole's doing.
Yeah. Commission from wrestlers. I'm trying to think here. I'm sure there is, but I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad Kyle O'Reilly stood out. So, so besides the wrestling stuff, like you do a lot of pop culture. What are some of your favorite movies that you like to capture?
Rocky, Star Wars, definitely a bit of the sci-fi stuff. Cool. Generally anything from the 80s, action 80s stuff, like Bloodsport, classic. you know. Yeah, just anything that takes. Oh, Pulp Fiction. Yeah, there you go.
There's actually a few. So my two favorite movies you actually captured. You got Pulp Fiction with that one. I believe there's another Pulp. Here's another. This is them at the diner.
Yeah,
talking about right before the movie starts and concludes. That's there. But also another great diner scene here. Got some Goodfellas.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Goodfellas, such a classic.
Love that. I like the guy in the background that just got the shit kicked out of him when he got beat up with a gun.
Yeah, I did that series of 5 paintings, like the whole scene. So it was like a whole thing, and like where he starts and then walks over and he's like smashing him with the gun and shit.
How long does it usually take for you to complete one of these?
It just depends how many details. I mean, something like that I could do. I think I would have done those in a day, like those two.
Yeah,
because it's so rough and ready. But something with the realism style, it could take me up to a week of just like a couple of hours here, a couple of hours there. Like I'm pretty active with it. I can't sit there for 10 hours just focusing. It's too hard.
That's what I do. My biggest thing is when I start doing art or if I draw or I doodle, it's just quick. I just go for it. Like I don't put, I can't because my ADD does not let me stay long enough to do art. Yeah. So I just quick and get it done.
Yeah,
but
that's why I like this. Why? Because I'm probably on the same sort of wavelength there, and it's like, the quick stuff's the best. Like where you're just working, get it out, and then it's done.
I'll try another one here. Here's a Brett one, but the double turn, Austin bleeding. Now you did this one. I looked on the website. You did that from like a few different angles. You have that from the side.
Yeah.
So do you like put the matches on and kind of like freeze frame a shot, or is that off memory?
No. I'm screenshotting the shit out of it. Like I'm watching matches, and when I'm watching a classic, I'm just screenshotting on my phone, like waiting for the moments that sort of I can see a painting in.
Yeah. Now, do you want like to get in the mood of the painting? Do you have like wrestling playing in the background, or are you a music guy, a podcast guy? Like, what do you do to get in the vibe?
No, I have classical music on when I'm painting.
Classical music. All right.
It's the only thing because it just doesn't interrupt me. Like if I was listening to a podcast, it's too much. It gets in my head. But I've got classical on. It just flows, and I get it like classical radio, and then I get a little news update every hour, and then just keep going away.
Now, when you do these paintings, are they just a one-off? Like if you paint it, someone buys it and it's gone, or do you do prints of painting as well? Like I know like some of them there are prints of.
Yeah, there's only really prints of that super kick one because that just kind of blew up on Instagram. It went nuts. And it's like even Instagram themselves sent me an email saying thank you, you've done really well here. They don't usually do that, you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, I got like an email from them. They said, your post is like really good. Thanks for this. I'm like, okay, guys. Cheers.
Send me some money. Give me some money. I mean, if some posts, if they do really well, they do send you a check for engagement. I've gotten, I mean, not big checks. I've got like $40 here and there.
That's all right. That's better than nothing.
Absolutely. It's free money. That's why I always tell people, if you see something or you like it, throw a comment on there or like it or put it on your story, because that helps. Yeah. That could be free money for an artist or a creator who's just trying to get by. But here's another one. Fantastic one here. This is one of my favorite. There's a whole line of these. So I think this guy has one. Brett has one. I think Stone Cold has one. I think there may be a few, but it's the deep in thought on the dock in the pier with the water in the background. The Macho Man with the title. Like, this is the most funniest, most random photos of Macho Man, and you painted it. It's one of my favorite. Like, that's on a t-shirt I want to buy. It's one of my favorite shots. It's just so random. Like, I don't know. Because I don't expect Macho Man to ever sit and like take in nature, because I feel like he's just running around like a psychopath screaming. So him like sitting in the water, just be like in deep thought, makes no sense to me. But you got. I'm gonna do a little rapid fire here. Tons of Macho Man. You got him and Steamboat. Great one there. Where's him and this is more of a realism one, but him and Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah, that was a special moment. That one always brings a tear to my eye.
Yeah. Him coming off the top rope. This is one of those attacked ones where they just kind of going at it there. That's a great one. And I think that's the only other Monch. Oh, here's the Brett one from the other. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Here's another sharpshooter, but this is the most famous sharpshooter right there. Earl Hebner's already 1 foot in his car in this painting. He's ready to run out the door. I met Earl 2 or 3 times, and it's the only conversation I've never had with him because I feel like it's been beaten out of him so much. I never even bring it up. I'm just like, I don't care. The only time I ever said, I was like, hey, you did the right thing. I'm a Sean guy. Thank you.
Have you had it on the?
I haven't. No. So my biggest thing is I do a lot of. I do a lot of independent podcasts. So like I interview a lot of independent wrestlers or artists or musicians or people trying to make film. If I can get a bigger name, I'll do it. But I mostly focus on the people who I want to try to bring attention to things I like or their art or what they're doing on the scene that maybe need more attention or light. That's kind of my bit. Everyone chases the names or they pay a couple $100 to get a legend to come on their podcast, and the legend doesn't care. He's just getting his money and leaves. You know what I mean? I try to do a little bit of a different angle, you know?
Yeah, I got you.
Now besides the movies and wrestling, do you ever like go into like musicians or like watching a concert and pulling a scene from an old concert or something like that?
Yeah, I've done some music stuff. Some of my favorite musicians, like big Nick Cave, and I don't know if you even know Nick Cave.
Big who?
Nick Cave.
I'm not familiar who that is. No,
he's like an Australian singer. But
okay,
I've done a few paintings of him, and just other musicians and stuff.
Now, is your art your full-time gig, or do you have is it more of a hobby that makes you money on the side, and you do something else on your normal time?
Like so, there was a time where I was doing it full time, and I'm back working again now. But it just depends on the situation. I mean, it's good to have a full-time gig, money coming in, and then the art just be the passion.
Yeah.
When I've relied on it as income, it can affect the art and make you a bit stressed. And it's like you just sitting there going, all I want to do is sell. You know what I mean? And that's
I'm literally in that wave now where I kind of risked it for 2 or 3 years with not working a full-time job and just kind of chasing the dream, and then now I'm going back to the workforce and I'm going to do this on the side, and it's just like I'm stressed. I'm freaking out because I don't want to go make good money and then lose my passion. I don't like that's my biggest fear is I'm going to go and be that 9 to 5 time clock and then just be like, well, the money's here. I guess this is what you're supposed to do. I can't grow up and talk to people. You know what I mean? Like I got to be an adult. Like I want to make art. This is what I like, you know?
Yeah. It's the, I think we just need a bit more balance in society. This whole 40-hour week thing is not like I'm doing it, but it's not for me. It's fucking
I hate it. I fucking hate it. I want to make my version of art. Like
maybe give me like 3 days, 4 days work or some shit, but not like I need because making art is kind of work as well. So I need I don't know, at least 2 or 3 solid days a week where I can do that shit, and then I'll make money from it. But if I'm not doing it, I ain't gonna make no money from it, am I? Because I'm working. You know what I mean?
I can't sell it to anybody. So right now on the docket, what do you have that you're working on, or like, are you now with the wrestling landscape blowing up to where it is? Are you looking into the AEW side of things to maybe make some AEW paintings? Are you more strictly just WWE?
Not really. I don't have AEW here in Australia. I'd have to pay some subscription to watch it. So I honestly don't watch a lot of new wrestling. Like most of my stuff is just a nostalgia trip.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not out there trying to be like the next Rob Schamberger or I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I don't want a full-time gig fucking painting wrestlers from the new lineup. I don't even know who they are. Like I just want to. I more enjoy just telling telling my story and what I appreciate. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's more important. Like, of course, if WWE rings me up tomorrow and says, "Come pay these dudes," and I'll do it. But like, begrudgingly.
You're like, I don't know who this guy is. What the hell's a Roman Reigns?
I don't want to take Rob Schamberger's job. You know, he's happy. You know.
Is there a wrestler that you really enjoy painting the most? Like you just feel like you really attach yourself to them, or you love grabbing their essence and then painting it?
Yeah, that's got to be Randy Macho Man Savage for sure.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
I actually, as we're talking, I did find another Macho Man one.
Did you see? Oh yeah, there you go. That's where I start throwing the glitter around. I mean, these ones, the photos never translate. These ones in real life are like the most special thing that I do. But I haven't done one for years. Like, yeah, when you see them and the lights on them, those glistening fucking robes, it's like, yeah, Savage at his best. That's my favorite era of Savage, was the like sort of early Savage when he had the robe, Elizabeth, like, yeah, that's some golden era stuff right there.
Have you ever done any Sherry, like Sensational Sherry or Luna Vachon?
Yeah, a little bit of Sherry.
I feel like a Luna one would be cool because you could do like the attack of her face, but then have like the veins all like really defined.
Oh yeah. She would be good for one of those sort of white backgroundy attacky ones.
Yeah,
I was just before like probably you know, Kevin Sullivan and Woman.
Yeah,
I was looking at a picture of them. I was like, oh, that would be perfect for one of those because they're just such characters.
Yeah. Some other ones here. One of my favorite, and I mean, I gotta say this painting is perfect. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. You got Mr. Perfect himself, the bust of him, and I seen you did one on like smaller cards, like you do them on like instead of a full canvas or like smaller canvases, you do them on there as well, almost like mini ones.
At the beginning of the year, I bought like a bunch of these mini canvases, and I was just messing around with them and having to go at that. Yeah, it was fun, but I didn't do many. I've still got a big bag of these mini canvases.
I feel like they'd be good ones. You bang them out and just kind of put them up there, and I feel like they go quick, you know.
Yeah.
Another one, backstage interview guy, one of my favorite guys back in the day, just one of the best manager of all time, with one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. You got Bobby and Rick Rude there. Another Rick Rude here to show off. You got him breaking the Ultra Warrior's neck, that piece of garbage. Not a big Warrior guy.
Yeah, that was from the cage match.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I took it from anyway, but not the actual picture. I kind of changed it about because the original picture I worked from there was just Rick Rude doing the old what's his finisher called again?
Oh my goodness. Sorry. Why am I drawing a blank here?
Rude Awakening. The Rude Awakening.
Rude Awakening. Oh my goodness. If we would have went off air not saying that, you're canceled. Get it. Both of us quit.
He's doing the Rude Awakening, but it was on some other dude, but then I like changed it up, made him Warrior, and it's like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Well, the Rude ones would be cool too, because like his pants are always what catch you, right? So you have his like the airbrush pants of like somebody on his toe. It's like a double piece of art almost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Another one of my favorite guys growing up, Razor Ramon. That's a great one here. The late great Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, and my favorite match of all time. I watched this match as a kid when it came out probably 100 times. The ladder match, such a cool angle, the down shot, and then you had a really good one of
Mission from Brazil. That one
from Brazil.
Yeah. He's like a journalist. His name is Jack Nikas. I don't know, but he works for New York Times or something. But he commissioned it back in the day. And I sent it to Brazil, and it never got to him. And then I had to paint it.
Someone's probably like, nope.
Yeah,
I'm keeping that.
Like 6 months or something. This is probably during COVID stuff. And then so I painted it. I was like, I'll just paint it again and send it to you. So I painted it again, and then the original came back and like arrived on my door like after I'd sent the other one. So I painted that one twice.
Is that something you've ever done before, where if someone commissions a certain scene but you've already done it, is it something where you're like, well, I've already sold that piece, I can't do it again because it's already been sold, or would you do the same shot again?
No, there's some that I'll do again. There's like the one you pulled up before, the Montreal screw job. The guy who bought that and commissioned it asked if I could just make that a one-off and not paint that again. And like, yeah, all right. So I have.
Now, would you do the? So say if I commission you, I want a Montreal screw job. Would you do a different angle of it or a different view of it, and then his is the exclusive?
I think it's just that particular exact same painting. I wouldn't do that again. I mean,
that makes sense.
I could do it with the white background and attack it differently. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I wouldn't do exactly the way that guy requested it, just out of respect. Yes.
Have you ever done a shot where you've done a painting and then, like, for example, like this one here, like you've done the Ric Flair doing the promo, like this is the iconic one here, but have you ever painted that and then be like, I kind of want to do the attack version of this? Like, do you ever do that where you've done multiple of like the same shot?
Now, like a lot of what I'm doing now is stuff I've painted back in the past, like the Hogan Warrior where they're standing with their arms up in the air and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've done a bunch of times, but now it's like I'm doing it in this new style. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even the Super Kick one itself, I originally, when I did like back in 2018, I did like kind of realistic version of that. And now I'm just going through it again.
Another cool Sean one, just putting an idea out there. When he's coming down from the ceiling on the Raptor, like when he's like rappelling into the ring on the way to the Iron Man match, like that would be cool because you can get the whole crowd, like the flash bulbs and stuff. I think that'd be a dope shot. But this is
if you
what's that?
Send me photos.
If you need ideas, I'll flood your box. Like, listen, this is a good idea. You'll make money on this.
I don't mind. There's people who just send me photos and just paint this, and it's like, yeah. And then I kind of like, if I'm sitting there and I got nothing to like think of to paint, and I'm like looking through it, like, oh yeah, that's one. Thank you.
Well, have you ever done Hard Times promo, the Dusty Rhodes promo?
Nah, there was a guy who had ordered that, but I hadn't got to it. I meant to do it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's definitely a good one.
So this one here, I mean, once again, you can take this one moment and pull a different shot of every one. So there's the one where they could be holding hands like they're good, and then the kick's about to hit, and then you can get the one where Marty's ass is hanging through the window.
I did 2 of those.
You did 2 of those?
Yeah.
Yeah. The best shot for me, like that I always remember is Marty's ass is hanging through the window, and Bobby goes, he's trying to run away, that coward, and Sean's ripping the Raw magazine in half. I love it. Oh my god.
Do you follow Hal Haney? Is that?
Who's that?
Hal Haney, one of the another wrestling artist.
No, I'm not aware of him.
Oh, you should check him out. His stuff's amazing. He did a comic cover, like he does like comic cover stuff, and he did that with like Marty Jannetty through the window, and then like Brute Eye in the background, and the whole
god
thing. It's
definitely
awesome.
send me his page.
Yeah.
Another great shot here. Another one I'm a huge fan of. Coming to the ring, like on the way down, Stone Cold with the crowd. I really, really like when you do like the dark with the blue pops of the light and like the crowd reaction. Like obviously there's no detail at all in that crowd, but there is. Like you still feel the energy of that painting of Stone Cold walking down and people losing their fucking minds. Like it's so like I love that one.
Yeah, cheers.
Not a Hogan guy, but this one's beautiful. This is a great Hogan. Double bicep Hogan.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with a little Adam West Batman there.
Yep.
So I actually know the doctor who was involved in this match. He's a doctor around me, very famous doctor in Pennsylvania, and he's the one who removed Mick Foley's teeth from his lips and his nose, and sewed him up. Dr. Frank. But here's the Taker looking down at Mick and Hell in a Cell there.
No, I haven't seen that.
Another
one.
great painting would be the shot of Mick with his tooth in his nose, just screaming blood. But so much fun, man.
Have to be a realistic one.
Mm-hmm. Is there a wrestler that like that's always been on your list of like I want to do more paintings of them because they have just a good character or good shots, but you just never really tackled it yet?
No, that's a hard one.
Yeah. Like they always come across your mind like, oh, like I would love to do more of I'm trying to think of somebody like random
I'd say Ric Flair. Like I'd like to do more Ric Flair paintings, but there's just not that many. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't done a lot.
The Ric Flair, the bloody Ric Flair would be a cool one where like it's all in his hair. Like,
yeah, I've done that. Like that in a palette knife style, and it came out pretty cool.
So what are you currently working on now that you're like either commissioned or just something that you're just trying to do for yourself or personal?
Personal. Well, tomorrow's Saturday, so I'll get stuck into painting. I've got just like in my head the stuff that I want to do. Probably just more of the finishes series. Like I want to do Boss Man doing that side slam thing that he used to do back in the day.
So like you're trying to do more finishing move paintings.
Yeah, I want to do a whole series of them. Like
that's
I just
awesome.
want all the classic finishes, like on time with the figure four, just all the old school.
I seen you do the one of Demolition, the Doomsday device where they had them on like the tag team finisher with the LOD
from the side sort of thing.
Yeah. So many. I'm trying to think of another finish that'd be. You did the Stone Cold Stunner. Stone Cold Stunner's there. LOD, yeah, the Doomsday device LOD. I seen the Stone Cold Stunner. Yeah.
Yeah. Just all of those capture the movement.
Yeah. So when someone commissions you for art, how do your prices range? So if somebody was watching this or looking into it and they wanted to reach out for commissioned art, how does it work for pricing? Is it to go by the size of the canvas style?
Generally, I work on 16 by 20 canvases, which are sort of and pricing just depends on the style and the detail. I mean, anywhere from sort of $300 USD to $500 USD, just depending on what it is, plus shipping.
Yeah, they're amazing, man. I've never been one to have art on my wall, but once hopefully I get this job, I actually have a job interview later on today. Hopefully I'm back in the game, but I will be definitely hitting you up for some stuff. Another one here warms my heart, but I mean, look at this. Look at that HBK right there. This whole shelf right here, like there's all rest like my HBK figures. I have a whole bunch of them down there. I'm a mark for HBK, but where can people reach out to you? Where can people find you if they want to commission art or just contact you? What's the best places they can do so?
Best place is Instagram on the inbox.
DMs so Instagram has a thing where if you're not friends, sometimes your messages get hidden, but you are very good at checking those like not friend messages. You were very, very quick with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty active on there.
Awesome. Anything else that you want to plug or get out of here before I don't want to keep you too long? Got your whole day ahead of you.
Stores on Instagram, it's all good. Check it out. Go to the store, buy a painting. Don't buy a painting. Whatever. I don't care. It's.
I love it, man. I appreciate your time so much. Please go check out Sam Adams' art on Instagram. It is wildly good. I'm a huge fan of what you're doing. I appreciate your time on the conversation. Figured out the time differences. It was definitely worth the lack of sleep to have this conversation. I want to thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Make sure you go check him out on Instagram. Follow him. I'll leave you with one more painting here. Doesn't get any better than this. Classic design, smeared across. I love it. Classic WWF. That's going to do it for the ABJ podcast. We'll see you next time. Here's some music by Converse Kid, and we'll see you on the next one.